My dear brothers and sisters, many of us go through moments where money feels tight, opportunities seem closed, and the heart becomes heavy with worry about the future. Poverty and financial stress can break a person's spirit, but Allah has not left us without solutions. In fact, within the Qur'an and the teachings of the Prophet, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, are powerful keys that can completely transform our lives. Imagine if in just 7 nights you could witness a change in your situation, doors of risk opening, worries being lifted, and blessings flowing into your life in ways you never expected. Today, I will share with you a beautiful practice rooted in the wisdom of Islam, a practice that countless believers have experienced, and it has brought them relief, peace, and abundance. If you are ready to trust Allah's promise, this is a journey you won't want to miss. 1. The power of Allah as the true provider of rizq or sustenance is one of the greatest gifts from Allah, and it is not limited to money alone. It includes health, peace of mind, knowledge, family, and every blessing that makes life easier. Allah reminds us in the Qur'an that He is Ar-Razzaq, the one who provides without limits. No employer, no business, no job, and no person controls your provision. Only Allah does. Sometimes we believe our income depends on our effort alone, but in reality, it is Allah who places barakah in what we earn. A person may work hard, yet remain in hardship, while another may earn little, but live in contentment and ease. This is because rizq is distributed by Allah's wisdom. When we understand that Allah alone is the provider, our hearts find peace. We stop fearing poverty and instead focus on strengthening our relationship with Him. 2. Importance of turning to Allah with sincerity. When a believer faces financial struggles or feels trapped in hardship, the first step toward relief is turning to Allah with a sincere heart. Sincerity means removing all reliance on people and placing full trust in the Creator. It is not enough to simply recite words with the tongue. The heart must be present, humbled, and aware of who we are speaking to. Allah listens to every whisper of His servants, and He responds to those who call upon Him with true dependence. When a person prays with sincerity, their du'as rise with weight and are never ignored. Hardships become lighter, and solutions appear from unexpected places. This sincerity also brings closeness to Allah, which itself is the greatest treasure. Turning to Him with honesty transforms worship into a shield against poverty, as Allah promises ease and blessings for those who rely only on Him. 3. Making wudu and preparing spiritually before sleeping. Before engaging in any act of worship, spiritual preparation is essential. One of the most powerful ways to prepare is through wudu, the simple act of purification. When a believer makes wudu before sleep, they cleanse not only their body, but also their soul, entering the state of purity beloved to Allah. The Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam taught that those who sleep in wudu are accompanied by angels who seek forgiveness for them throughout the night. This spiritual state strengthens the heart and makes the remembrance of Allah more effective. Preparing before sleep also includes calming the mind, avoiding distractions, and ensuring that the intention is solely for the sake of Allah. By doing so, every word recited and every dua made carries greater weight. This nightly routine creates an atmosphere of tranquility, allowing the believer to connect deeply with Allah and seek His mercy and provision with full focus. 4. Reciting Surah Al-Waqiah every night for 7 nights. Surah Al-Waqiah holds a special place in the hearts of believers because of its deep connection with sustenance. The Prophet, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, referred to it as the Surah of Wealth, and scholars throughout history have encouraged its recitation as a means of protection from poverty. Reading this surah before sleep is not merely a habit, but a spiritual key that opens unseen doors of provision. When a believer commits to reciting it consistently for 7 nights, they are showing discipline, faith, and dedication in seeking Allah's help. The words of this surah remind us of the realities of the hereafter and the power of Allah in distributing rizq as He wills. By making it a nightly practice, the believer invites barakah into their home, peace into their heart, and abundance into their life. This consistent effort becomes a testimony of trust in Allah's promise of sustenance. 5. Significance of Surah Al-Waqiah as protection from poverty. The significance of Surah Al-Waqiah lies in its powerful message about the reality of life, death, and the hereafter, reminding believers that ultimate control belongs to Allah. This surah has long been known as a shield against poverty, as its recitation instills reliance on Allah and detaches the heart from worldly fears. Scholars mention that whoever keeps it as part of their routine will find ease in sustenance and relief from financial worries. The surah draws attention to the distribution of wealth and power, showing that human efforts alone cannot guarantee prosperity. It is Allah who raises some and tests others, and He alone sustains His creation. By connecting the believer to this truth, Surah Al-Waqiah protects from the despair and anxiety of poverty, while filling the heart with contentment and hope. Its significance is not only material, but also spiritual, enriching both faith and livelihood. 6. Reciting Astaghfirullah 100 times to seek forgiveness and open doors of sustenance. Seeking forgiveness is one of the greatest keys to unlocking Allah's mercy and rizq. The Qur'an mentions that Prophet Nuh, alayhi salam, advised his people to repent, promising that Allah would send rain, increase wealth, grant children, and bless them with gardens and rivers. This shows that istighfar is directly linked to abundance and relief. By reciting Astaghfirullah sincerely 100 times each night, a believer clears the heart from sins that may block sustenance. Every sin creates a barrier between the servant and Allah's blessings, but forgiveness removes those barriers and opens the gates of provision. Repeating Astaghfirullah also brings humility, reminding us that we are dependent on Allah's mercy. When this becomes a daily practice, the believer not only receives financial ease, but also spiritual purity, peace of mind, and contentment. Forgiveness is therefore not just cleansing, it is a doorway to unlimited rizq and divine favor. 7. Raising hands in dua, asking Allah for halal rizq and barakah. After worship and remembrance, the believer's most powerful weapon is dua. When one raises their hands with humility, it is a sign of complete submission to Allah. Asking for rizq should not only be about wealth, but also about halal income and blessings within it. Many people may earn large sums, yet find no peace, while others with modest means live in contentment because Allah has placed barakah in their provision. By specifically asking for halal rizq, the believer safeguards their earnings from harm and ensures purity in what they consume and provide for their family. Barakah, or divine blessing, makes wealth stretch beyond calculation, turning little into enough and enough into abundance. When the servant calls upon Allah with a soft heart, tears in their eyes, and certainty in His mercy, Allah responds in ways that exceed imagination, granting sustenance and blessings from unexpected sources. 9. How consistent practice brings relief, blessings, and removes hardship. Consistency is a key principle in Islam, as small deeds done regularly are more beloved to Allah than large deeds performed occasionally. When a believer maintains the nightly routine of recitation, istighfar, and dua with steadiness, the effects accumulate over time. This regular practice softens the heart, increases taqwa, and invites continuous blessings into one's life. Hardships that once felt overwhelming begin to ease, not because the problems instantly vanish, but because Allah provides strength, solutions, and unexpected relief. Barakah enters the believer's time, health, and wealth, turning struggles into opportunities for growth. Consistency also trains the soul to remain disciplined and connected to Allah, even in moments of difficulty. By persevering night after night, the believer shows sincerity and trust, and Allah responds by opening doors of rizq, granting peace and removing burdens in ways that reflect His mercy and generosity. 10. Reminder that rizq comes only from Allah, not from people or worldly means. One of the greatest truths a believer must internalize is that rizq is entirely in the hands of Allah. No employer, business, or relationship has independent power to provide. People and opportunities are only means that Allah uses to deliver what He has already decreed. When this reality is understood, the heart is freed from unnecessary fear and dependence on creation. Chasing wealth through worldly means alone often leads to anxiety, disappointment, and even compromise of values. But when reliance is shifted to Allah, the believer works hard while trusting that the outcome is already written by the provider. This perspective brings balance, striving in dunya while keeping the heart attached to the one who sustains all. True peace comes from knowing that provision is not controlled by market changes or human decisions, but by Allah, whose wisdom and mercy never fail His servants. My dear brothers and sisters, Allah's mercy is vast, and His rizq has no limits. If you follow this 7-night practice with sincerity, faith, and patience, you will witness how Allah opens doors you never imagined. Remember, true wealth is not just money, but peace, barakah, and contentment. If this video inspired you, please like, share, and subscribe to Purpose Deen so more hearts can benefit. Before you leave, make this dua. Ya Allah, grant me halal rizq with barakah and protect me from poverty. Comment this below as your prayer, and may Allah accept it from all of us.